Joe's.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular session for March 21st, 2023. It is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hewitt.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sui.
Here.
Commissioner Romanek.
Here.
Commissioner Watson.
Here.
Mayor Orndorff.
Here. We can all stand for the salute of the flag, followed by invocation by Reverend Murphy. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. It's a good, safe place to be tonight, isn't it? For the many blessings that you give us, we give you thanks, O God. We thank you for our public servants. We thank you tonight for our law enforcement and for the celebration of the good things that are happening. Lead us forward by your grace in all things. Bless our commissioners, our mayor, and all who work to make this a better place. May this meeting be a good meeting tonight. We ask for your honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
We only had 2 removals, Mayor. They were the removal of consent agenda item 7, supporting solar landscape solar projects, and also the removal of presentation by Millville Eagles 1836.
Perfect, thank you. And we'll start with presentations this evening.
Okay, so it's just the Winter Photo Contest award winners.
All right, so I'd like to call the Parks and Recreation Department Head Samantha Cruz up to award our contest winners.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to just let you know, photo winners, all these people showed up for you. Isn't that awesome? Anyway, good evening. Like the mayor said, my name is Samantha Cruz. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Millville, and we have a prestigious Winter Photo Contest winners here this evening. They are on display at the RRCA as we speak, and they will be there until next third Friday. So if you haven't seen them, go see them. They're beautiful. So, Mayor, I will, if you don't mind, I can say the names and you can hand.
Yeah,
All right. We're going to do them backwards because, we always want to leave that first prize for all the excitement and claps. But every winner is just fabulous, right? So our very first one, I got a small bio on her at the very beginning. She is just an amazing little girl. Her name is Lola. And she has a huge family fan crowd out here, okay? And I heard she wants to be a fashion designer. Is that true? Lola, come on up. She won 3rd place. Can we pose for a little picture, Mayor, over here? We have paparazzi here as well. Once again, see all these people out here? Congratulations.
All right, Lola.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Lola Buckley. Okay. Congratulations, Lola. All right, our second prize winner. It was a berry kind of year. Everybody had berries with snow on them. It was absolutely lovely. Our second place winner is Diana Russell. Am I saying it correctly? Diana Russell. Come on down. The price is right. Oh, and the mayor said this was her favorite photo. I'm still leaning toward Lola, though. Sorry, Linda. Congratulations. We have paparazzi for? Okay, yep. Diana has paparazzi as well. So yes. This is fabulous. This is the first time all winter photo winners actually showed up to the meeting. I'm very stunned. So our first prize winner, just absolutely gorgeous. Everyone loved it down to Senior Center. Miss Linda Stevens, come on down. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, she also has paparazzi. I don't even think you're going to have that much paparazzi, Chief. I'm just saying. These awards are amazing. So congratulations to all three of our winners. Thank you for participating, and I'm expecting each and every one of you to do our spring photo contest, which is going to be April and May, and you can all be winners too next time. So congratulations, and thank you again, Commissioner, for always letting me borrow some time here on the grand stage here of the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. All right. Moving on to presentation number 2.
We have a swearing-in ceremony of new law enforcement officers.
And before that starts, I was supposed to make a special announcement. I think there's a birthday in the room. A happy 3rd birthday to Rowan Phillips. Where's she at? Where's the little girl at? We should make everybody sing happy birthday to you now. Chief, you can lead it off. Just kidding. You guys come on up and, yeah, there you go.
Thank you all for coming. It's always nice to see a good showing, and I think it just goes to show the continued support that we have for the department. I remember when I first came on, we used to have the room filled like this, and it's good to see it again. So with that, we have a couple promotions to make, and I'm not going to hold everybody up, so I'll just get to it. Officer Gavin Phillips. Promoted to the rank of sergeant. Sergeant Phillips began his career with the police department in March of 2008, where he was assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division. Sergeant Phillips has served in the Uniform Patrol Division for the last 15 years, where he has trained over 10 new officers as a field training officer. He also serves as one of the police department's fatal accident investigators, where he investigates serious motor vehicle accidents. He is one of my last trainees when I was at FTO, so it took you long enough. As sergeant, he will be assigned to the patrol squad to supervise the Uniform Patrol Division. Sergeant Phillips is a resident of Millville, where he resides with his wife, Nicole, and their 2 children, Rowan and Ender. Congratulations, sir.
Okay, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Gavin Phillips,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear truth, faith,
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially,
and partially
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of police sergeant
of police sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank
You can take this now. And then a signature. I need a signature too. There we go. Is this your address, your current address right here?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. You can sign right above that one. Yep. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, thank you. I'll get your picture taken.
Good. At least I get to work on my public speaking tonight. Sergeant Matos. Promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Lieutenant Matos is a 1999 graduate of Millville Senior High School. Upon graduation, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where he served for 4 years and was honorably discharged with the rank of sergeant. Lieutenant Matos began his career with the police department in 2007, where he was assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division. In 2012, he was assigned to the Neighborhood Crime Prevention Unit until 2015, where he was then assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division. Lieutenant Matos has been assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division since his promotion to the rank of sergeant in 2016, and currently serves as the police department's supervising firearms instructor. As lieutenant, he will serve as the Uniform Division Commander. Lieutenant Matos is a resident of Buena Vista Township, where he resides with his wife Victoria and their 3 children, Isabella, Ava Lynn, and Jonah. Congratulations.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sean Matos,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of police lieutenant
of police lieutenant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, congratulations. Congratulations.
There's only one person more nervous than me. Next, we have Lieutenant Carl Hager. Come a little closer. Promoted to the rank of captain. Captain Hager began his career in 2003 and received the academic award upon his graduation from the Vineland Police Academy. He was assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division until being assigned to the Millville Street Crimes Unit in 2005. He was later assigned to the Cumberland County Narcotics Task Force and the Organized Crime Bureau. Captain Hager was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2008 and spent 10 years supervising patrol squads and 2 years as a detective sergeant in the Criminal Investigations Division. Captain Hager was promoted to the rank of lieutenant and has served as the Uniform Patrol Division Commander and most recently as the Services Division Commander. He has been a major asset in writing grants for the department and has undertaken the task of updating all of the department's policies. He has obtained his degree in criminal justice from Rowan College of South Jersey, is a certified public manager, and is currently pursuing additional education in human resources and accounting. As captain, he will oversee all 3 divisions of the department and serve as my second in command. Captain Hager is a resident of Millville with his wife Tabitha and their combined 6 children. Congratulations.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Carl Hager,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New
of
Jersey,
the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments
in
established
the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of police captain
of police captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay.
Can we have a picture all together?
be a good one. Good.
Once again, here we are with the police department, Millville PD family. It's great to see everybody here. This is the third time since I've been the director. Congratulations, Captain, Lieutenant, and Sergeant. Thank you.
Chief, did you want to say anything else, or looking like you wanted to say?
Of course.
That was all his public speaking for this evening.
Everybody's free to go.
Unless you want to stay for the DRB presentation.
It's really interesting stuff. The budget's on tonight.
Now he's becoming a cheerleader. Now you're a cheerleader.
Thank you. See you at Easter. Just run that one. Always. How are you? Thank you.
Jerica, how are you?
That woman that came up and talked to me, I could see her. Her older sisters and friends of my sister. So we were like a little brother. In a way, yeah.
Request to recess.
All right.
Appreciate it because you're around today.
I appreciate this side of the room staying. We'll move on to presentation number 3.
Okay, we have a presentation by the Delaware River and Bay Authority.
Good evening, Ray Campari, City Administrator. I wanted to provide some background on this presentation before we call on our guests. The Millville Municipal Airport became part of the City of Millville at the beginning of World War II, back in 1941, 80 years ago. After the end of the war and the government's decommissioning of the facility in 1945, the city took over management of the airport. At that time, the city began dedicating staff and resources and tax dollars to support the airport for non-military operations. In 1999, the city decided that it no longer wanted to or could afford to, I'm not really sure, manage or operate the airport with city employees and city funding. So at that time, the city sought a partner to take over by contract the management of the airport. As a result of that, the city entered into a contract or a lease agreement with the Delaware River and Bay Authority, the DRBA. The term of the lease was set for 30 years, and that lease is still in effect today. During the 30 years, the current 30-year lease, our airport, which the DRBA calls the Millville Executive Airport, has seen its fair share of business activity, highlighted by Dallas Aeromotive and Airwork back in the day. Before they exited, they were employing over 600 employees there. The DRBA will update us on current business activity happening there and going forward. It should be clear to all that having an active airport in any city is very unique and can serve as a powerful economic engine, generating jobs and ratables and a variety of things. Since stepping into my role back about a year ago, I began working, trying to awaken the conversations and the partnership between the city and the DRBA, which in my opinion, those conversations have been very quiet for several years. I continue to work actively with the leadership at DRBA, both in Delaware and Millville, because I really think we need to leverage this partnership much better than we ever have. The renewal decision for the current 30-year lease is on the horizon. The city and the DRBA need to soon decide our path forward in partnership. And I feel it's prudent that the city and the residents be as informed as possible as to the progress made and the plans that are in place by the DRBA under their current lease agreement for our Millville Airport before we begin negotiations for another long-term lease. So my invitation tonight to the DRBA to present was to share their progress, hear their plans, and it really represents what I envision to be an example of a more active, collaborative partnership in shared economic development and growth for our city. So with that, pleased to introduce the team, and first off, let me introduce the Executive Director for the DRBA, Mr. Thomas Cook.
Thank you, Ray. Mayor, council members, it certainly is a privilege and an honor to be here in front of you to really talk about that partnership. I totally concur with what Ray says. This is a great opportunity to take that airport and this economic development engine to the next level. So tonight's presentation will really talk about what we've done, what we're in the process of doing, and maybe what the future looks like. So there's a lot of information tonight, so I'm going to yield now to our Deputy Executive Director, Steve Williams.
Good evening, members of council. If you'd like to reposition, because there is a presentation, I understand that might be better for you to view it. And it'll give me a chance to set up.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. So again, thank you for inviting us tonight. I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can. But I thought, in addition to what Ray just talked about and what Tom talked about in terms of background, actually, that's good, Judy. Yeah. Where do I have to go? I have to go back to clear it all again. Go back to the here. Cast. Looking for devices.
I actually did the opposite I normally do, and that one worked, because I had to have my phone.
Because the light doesn't.
I know,
light
usually
is
this
still-
one is the one that gets you, when I have this one. Okay. Now I know,
Yeah,
after
yeah,
all
it
these
did,
years.
yeah. It's not city Wi-Fi. What did we do? We searched for sources before. Try one more time.
Oh, is she still connected? Is that what it is? She might be still connected. Okay. Mayor, we're gonna disconnect you from your thing. Did you disconnect?
I never connected.
There
we go.
There.
Does it work?
Oh, wait, no, that's,
No, that's
you're
mine
connected. You
Oh,
are
I'm
connected.
I'm so sorry.
The agenda.
Okay. Did it come up yet?
No. Yeah, it's not coming up.
Not at all, right?
No.
Where do you connect it to? Can you disconnect from anything?
It's not connected at all. Let's see. City
And then you
Wi-Fi.
scroll all the way down? and
Yeah,
all the way
and
down?
let's try it again. And go back to cast.
Click on city Wi-Fi.
City
Just to
Wi-Fi.
see if that'll,
Okay.
the more you play with it. There it
Meeting
is.
room, there it is.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Connected, secure. Yes.
And then you go to cast.
Okay. Now go to cast. And we start up again. All right, we hit this?
Yep.
All right.
And then just make sure you're on.
Cast screen.
That way
Okay.
it just shares your whole computer.
Okay, so I
And
can,
then
yeah.
it's not, yeah, go back to that, go back to Google Chrome. It's really, I don't know why. Go back to that and cast.
Cast.
Okay, click on sources, make sure you're still on screen.
No, it's
Full
not.
screen,
Yeah.
and then click that again. And then click it again. There you go.
Stop casting. Right.
And then you should be able to minimize
That
and
should do
then
it.
bring up that.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, great.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, Joanna.
Okay, I apologize for that. I think we're good. So as I said, my name is Steve Williams. In addition to the Deputy Executive Director for the DRB, I'm also the Airport Director. So one of the things I've been doing since 2005 is having oversight and responsibility for the Millville Airport. So we'll try to walk through just a presentation tonight to just sort of orient you and familiarize you with what we do. But I thought the best way to do that is to sort of run through the big picture of airports in the state of New Jersey and how that fits into the context of Millville Airport. So just really quickly, airports are highly regulated. Those airports like Millville that have accepted federal grants or are federally obligated airports are not only heavily regulated by the FAA and by the federal government, but everything we do requires a oversight, some sort of environmental process. For every time we either add a building, demolish a building, every piece of equipment that we buy, we have to go through a process where the FAA, if it involves FAA funds, and even if it does not involve FAA funds, we walk through with the FAA and the checklist everything that we do on the airport. So each airport development action requires some sort of federal oversight. And as Ray said, in this particular case, the FAA views the DRBA as the sponsor. Not operator, but sponsor. That's their language when an entity like the DRBA has the financial wherewithal to accept grants and stand in the shoes of the owner, in this case the city of Millville, to act in terms of airport development on your behalf. And we call those grant assurance obligations. And we're both party to that. So finally, on this one, Airports 101 as I call it, successful airports, the goal is to be financially self-sustaining. The goal for every airport is to be financially self-sustaining. The FAA encourages us to do that, but does not have a mechanism or a reason to mandate that. They just want us to approach self-sufficiency, if you will. And very few airports in the United States, or even in the state of New Jersey, like Millville, are in that category of being self-sustaining. You can count the number of airports like a Teterboro or a Morristown airport in the northern part of the state. For obvious reasons, those airports are likely to be more financially self-sufficient. So how does the state of New Jersey view Millville Airport? Well, this is just a quote. How the state views airports are a direct reflection of the communities they serve. You might have heard about air work and other things we're going to talk about really quickly here. The airport doesn't make the community makes the airport in terms of its activity levels. Obviously, in major metro areas, you'll see commercial service airports and such. But the state of New Jersey identifies and defines Millville as what we call an advanced service airport. That just means the services that are offered run the gamut from flight training to corporate aviation access, and in particular, what has been very strong in Millville has been the MRO. You'll hear me talk tonight about MRO, maintenance, repair, overhaul organizations like Airwork. We'll talk about Jet East and what they're doing at the airport. But that's how the state defines Millville Airport. So what is Millville Airport just in terms of overview and what it is today? Two very fine runways, 6,000 feet by 150, and the other runway, the crossing runway, just over 5,000 feet. Formerly Dallas Airmotive, as we mentioned tonight, multi-use corporate hangar. You'll see how we've actually welcomed a new company that we're really excited about, called Jet East, that is now occupying the hangars that were constructed by the DRBA back in the early days of the agreement. We have been discussing with Ray and the city how we make best use together of the significant industrial park area both on and off the airport. And of course, a big deal for us back in the day when I first started with the DRBA, back in 2005, 2006, I spent the first 3 years of my time working on a land release. 140 acres of the airport were released from what is essentially the airport to be sold to the then entity running the motorsports park. So the motorsports park today is 140 acres of former airport land that we deemed to be surplus to the city needs at the time. So Ray talked about the city lease. I don't need to go into that, but just know there's 6 years remaining on the term for the agreement, and the city retains ownership, but the DRBA has most of the risk. With the exception of some environmental matters that are still ongoing, the DRBA assumes most of the risk on the airport. One of the things we were asked to do is to talk about our vision and how we feel we leverage our relationship here to make the airport better and make it better for the community. So what do you get with DRBA? Well, you get a professional, multi-airport, multi-transportation operator that does nothing but transportation. And the city benefits by our ability financially to leverage federal grants. And you can see the number. Since 1999, we've accepted over $33 million in grants in improving and fostering activity at the airport. Importantly, there are no tax dollars used at the airport. And what also you get are, because we're a multi-airport operator, you get the economies of scale associated with our expertise in procurement and staffing and planning and all the things that you would maybe find difficult if you were simply operating the airport yourself as a municipality. All of those things you get leveraged because of our presence and the nature of our agreement. So just a snapshot view as well, excluding the federal grants that I just mentioned, that $33 million, if you look at the total capital investment at Millville over the period of time during the term of the agreement, over $56 million in improvements have been made at this airport. That's equipment, that's pavement, rehabilitation, that's structures, that's upkeep, that's ongoing capital maintenance, and the net DRBA investment during that time is over $23 million. That we think is very significant, and we wanted to point that out to you tonight. So what are the goals? You know, Ray asked us to talk about how does the DRBA see the airport in the future. When we say itinerant operations, we just mean that the airport should be accommodating as much as possible aircraft that are not necessarily calling Millville home. This should be the first stop for people who are coming to visit South Jersey, much as you would call them, we call them itinerant operations, you might call them just airplanes that are not calling us home. Another challenge that we have, and another goal of ours, is to reuse or demolish some of the aging non-aviation structures. And we'll talk just really briefly about the historic district on the airport and some of the pros and cons of that historic district. DRBA, or private development of hangars, and I mentioned right sizing or the rationalization of the aforementioned historic district. Here is a view of the historic district on the airport. And again, because of the airport's history, post-World War II, anyone that's been out there, you know that some of the structures, many of the structures in this area still look like they did with some modifications. Some of them are not in such good repair. But our challenge has been to work with the state SHPO to try and right-size the district, in other words. So what else are we involved in? Well, we're going to continue to cultivate that competitive edge. As I mentioned, MRO, you see the words MRO again, maintenance, repair, overhaul. Because of the history of this community with air work and the significant skill sets that still exist in the community, we've been able to capitalize on that. And with the significant runway length, that's important. And importantly, I won't get too technical, but one of the runways at Millville has what's called a precision instrument approach. That is absolutely golden in the aviation world. For that, for access, for 24-hour access, for all-weather access to the airport, that's important. And again, some of the things we're starting to talk about, again, we've met with Ray on the foreign trade zone and some of the other empowerment zone issues that we could possibly take advantage of in terms of creating jobs. Continue to develop the airport, promote economically viable projects, and foster relationships and partnerships. We can talk about that in more detail later. So let's talk about the financial performance of the airport and the 5-year capital plan. Ray specifically wanted us to detail some of that, so we can do that real quick. We mentioned jetties at the top of this is end of year 2022 results. And in terms of it was actually one of our best years ever. And you'll see in a minute what our net loss is for 2022 estimated. But Jet East has been a significant shot in the arm for the airport in terms of the number of jobs. How many jobs? Okay, so over 100 jobs already from Jet East, and that's just the start of what they're doing. And we'll talk about them a little bit if you want to. But these are some of the major tenants at the airport and the kind of revenue that they help. And you see the bottom line there is almost $1 million in revenue total. And I'll show you a comparison to 2017, just 5 years ago. Really quickly, I want to talk about our pricing at the airport. If the airport's not competitive to the end user, the people that actually own aircraft and fly into the airport, and if we're not competitive with airports in the region, then that makes it difficult for us to do what we do. So I just wanted to show you what we charge per month on average for a T-hangar at the airport. And the regional market demands more than that. What we charge for a tie-down for an aircraft owner, and the regional average is about $63. And then, of course, fuel. Fuel is obviously the most important component of what is sold at the airport on an ongoing basis, both Avgas and Jet A, and we're competitive with that as well, as you can see. So here's a quick snapshot. I apologize for the small font, but at the bottom, I really want you to show you the bottom line number on the left. Under 2022 versus what we did in 2017. 2017, our loss was over $700,000. And in 2022, again, these are estimates. We're not completely final with everything in terms of bringing in all of the numbers, but we estimate right now our loss at just under $50,000. And in 5 years, that is pretty significant. A lot of that is attributable to the landing of Jet East in last year. Let's talk about our capital plan. Again, you saw the number that I showed you with respect to what it is we're doing on the airport. But just in the next 5 years, this is what our facility is going to, some of the projects we're going to engage in, a rehabilitation of different pavements on the airport. We're talking about the construction of several buildings, including a multi-tenant building that will be used for retail, small retail operations, each of them about 1,500 square feet in size. So a total of 15,000 square feet in that building, and you see the cost of that. Multi-purpose building, we need to replace the building that the FBO is in. The FBO is the fixed base operator, is how most people who are not coming to the airport just for recreational purposes, but the FBO is the center of where the airport users and patrons get services from. So that's important for us as well. And I'll detail these projects here. I know the map is a little difficult to see. So here's the capital plan laid out. And you could see some of the numbers. Again, the 5 years, airfield markings, all the way down to HVAC replacement and things like that. The big projects on the next page here that show the rehabilitation of Taxiway Alpha, for instance, Taxiway A, $7.5 million. So the bottom line here, over the 5-year period from 2023 to 2027, $34 million in improvements that we're talking about. Capital, that's investment at the airport, that's equipment at the airport. Those are the things that will make the airport, will continue to make the airport an attractive place for general aviation and corporate activity for the years to come. Ray also wanted us to talk about marketing. How are we out there in the business community? How are we marketing the airport to the community? Well, these days, social media is very active. We are active on social media. We have a solid digital footprint. We have several, over 1,000 followers on Facebook. We have a significant presence of both Instagram and LinkedIn as well. And this year, later this year in October of 2023, we will be exhibiting. We typically travel to, every other year, we go to an exhibit show, the largest exhibit show for corporate operators in the United States. And this year it will be in Las Vegas in October, where FBOs and MROs meet. This organization called NBAA. There have been members of Cumberland County in the years past that have traveled with us to these sites to exhibit. And what we do is we actually have a booth, and people from all around the country can learn about Millville and the services and the opportunities available. That'll be later this year. Here's some of our presence of what it looks like on social media. You can go to our website and you can see this ourselves. Anyone that's interested in business, how do they find out about us? How do they get to us? Well, they can get to us through any one of mediums on social media. There are some obstacles to growth. I won't spend too much time on this, but there's a general aviation downturn, obviously, in the country by virtue of how much it costs to fly. There are some underutilized properties still remaining at the airport. Obviously, fuel is priced very high. We deal, as you do, with high costs of construction and materials. I mentioned the state SHPO restrictions and what the historic district, where we would like to go with the historic district, I should say, is very important to us. And capital aviation, non-aviation capital needs are something that challenge us all the time. So I'm going to turn it back over to Tom to just talk about our partnership going forward.
Thank you, Steve. As elected officials, I actually, just to give you a little bit of my background, I was the previous Secretary of Finance for the state of Delaware. And so I understand as elected officials, you have to report to the citizens. And they don't care how you get the job done. They just want you to get the job done and get their questions answered. And that's why it's important to have this strong partnership to be able to allow us to really take it to the next level, as we spoke of. Some of you may know Will Morey down in Cape May County. I speak to him every Monday morning, and we talk about what's going on at the airport. How can we turn around? What activities do you have going on? What do we have going on? How do we merge them together for the better of the community? So I guess as a path forward, really what I'm looking forward is that we take this partnership and really build upon it and work together. And I think by doing that, we can literally take this airport and this economic development engine and make it beneficial to the citizens of your area. So with that, I know your time is precious. I want to just conclude and say thank you again for giving us this opportunity to come tonight. I do want to introduce Michelle Griscom. She is our Assistant Director of Economic Development, and so she works closely with Ray, and we are available at any time to give presentations, to give you updates. So at this time, I don't know if we will open it up for questions or however you would like to do this.
appreciate both of you coming and giving the presentation. I think it's definitely helpful for the commission and just the city to understand the current lease between the DRBA and the city. I don't know if the commissioners have any other comments or anything. I mean, I know that you guys are in constant conversation with Mr. Campari, and I think that we'll make sure that we make the steps as the city to move forward and make sure that the new agreement or whatever it may be is suitable both for the city and the airport and the DRBA, and make sure it's a good working relationship. I know I follow you guys on LinkedIn, which is probably where you should push most of your business because that's more business oriented versus Facebook, but I do follow it and I do share it. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more interested business that way.
I would just like to say, Mayor, that on behalf of myself, I've met you gentlemen both in previous meetings, along with the Vice Mayor and Brock Russell. We've had, discussions of this exact presentation, working with how Millville and the DRBA together in the future of in this next coming years. And this presentation was exactly what was needed. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I want to thank you guys for coming out, and I look forward to working through the problems we have to make this happen.
Thank you. I'm actually a neighbor out there, and you're a good neighbor, so thank you for coming.
Could we set up like a tour? I mean, is that something that's available?
Yeah, we do that all the time. Either we do it for school groups, we do tours for individuals, so either collectively or individually, if members of council would like to see what we do up close and take a look at our facilities, and certainly, just let us know. Ray and Michelle talk all the time. If you want to set it up through Ray, that'd be great.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, again, thank you, everybody, for being here. And again, Mr. Campari, for setting this up and allowing them to present to the commission and the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Great, thank you.
I wanted to put one additional exclamation mark on this conversation. So as a result of this, I think, new level of partnership just tomorrow, because the city recognizes that this airport is only going to grow if we have trained employees. So tomorrow morning, the DRBA is hosting a meeting with us, with the Rowan College of South Jersey, with Jet East, the major employer out there, with Worldwide Turbine, coming together to try to figure out if we can provide trained individuals here locally to support their growth. So another example of where we're going. So I'm excited. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Okay. Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second motion.
Motion second on paying the bills. Roll call.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Public comment on agenda items only. If anybody has any comments, concerns on the agenda items only, please come to the podium and state your name and concerns, and please limit those comments to 5 minutes.
Ray Campari again, City of Millville, City Administrator. On the agenda this evening is a resolution that would limit the number of cannabis licenses within the City of Millville. We call them letters of support. It's first important to clarify and recognize that the decision to allow cannabis operations in the city was approved by the previous commission. So we now, as an administration, have simply been left to deal with and manage the process regarding how we bring each cannabis operation into the city in a responsible manner. Last January, when I arrived, I created a pretty rigorous process and now hold each cannabis applicant seeking a resolution of support to a pretty high standard of application submission. The process in place is designed to weed out applicants who are not ready or have a high degree or high potential to fail. Recognize that each resolution of support that you folks provide is a simple statement from the city. And it simply says the location of this operation fits within the zoning requirements within the city. That's all it really says. So from there, the applicant has to go back to the state to get further approval, and they have to come back to the city again for approval of planning, which requires a whole lot of other requirements. It's important to know as well, my discussions with industry experts around the country who are working with this and have been working with it for a while tell me that the percentage of applicants who successfully complete this entire process, everything from the letter of support all the way through to final opening of operation, is plus or minus 50%. So you have a challenge. That's the reality of it. So the challenge is much greater going forward. So this resolution tonight voted upon to limit the number of both licenses and locations. It does both at the same time. Will put a halt to further applicants coming forward and really allow the competitive process for business startups to occur. By the way, assuming that approval for the resolution tonight to limit licenses are granted, our guests tonight, which are here in mass, our guest tonight will be the final applicant approved, meeting a number of 21. It also should be noted that this applicant has satisfactorily completed the requirements like everyone else, raised the bar to submit the vetting, to complete the vetting process here, and also important to note that this applicant will be setting up residence in a shared location, and that location has already been approved for a previous applicant as well. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for explaining.
Hi, new community. Really excited to be here. I'm Mata Figueroa,
And I'm Jimmy Barrett.
and together we have Canpowerment. We are a Class 2 manufacturing entity. Our intention is to be able to fill New Jersey with very well-made and safe quality products that are made from cannabis. We really focus on getting brands up and running, such as my very own Butter Cake. Jimmy and I, we've been friends since the 3rd grade, and Jimmy heard that I had a brand called Butter Cake, and with the experience that he had after going college and starting a career in manufacturing and pharmaceuticals, he was able to then transfer some of that knowledge to me to empower me, who simply just graduated high school and did culinary school, you know, like I'm just a regular girl. But he empowered me to get that brand up and running, and so together we decided to create Canpowerment. We're super excited about Millville. I love this town. I know that there are a lot of things that you guys are looking forward to doing that we are also interested in, such as, you know, helping out with the animal shelters. Jimmy grew up in a household that fostered animals, which was amazing. I personally resonate with stepping up and helping out with the vocational school. We've got the union labor here to support us in accomplishing that mission as well. So we're really just excited to bring some good cannabis to Millville, and opportunity to the residents as well, so that we can all cultivate in this industry together. Thank you.
And just real quick on the topic of manufacturing, for the past decade, I've been working within consumer packaged goods and pharmaceuticals, so I understand the need for quality, proper testing and safety around products. So we're not going to let any, just call it, you know, difficult or challenging products out in the market without full testing and full vetting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here. I did actually go on the website. I did see that your 3rd grade picture, that was really cool that you guys posted that.
Thank you.
All right. Hello. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Hugh Giordano, and I am a representative for the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW. The UFCW is a national labor union of 1.4 million hardworking families, and we're proud to endorse this team. We've had many conversations, and the one thing that's important to us for the future is to have long-term, reliable places of work. So we have careers. In Millville, we represent various areas, groups down here already: production, warehouse, manufacturing. So this is our community. Our members live and work in these communities. We have generations of folks that have lived here and worked here. The ShopRite that you buy your food from every week is our members. So we're proud to be part of Millville, and we're proud to support Canpowerment. One of the things that's really important is social equity and economic justice. That's exactly why the state created and allowed legalization of cannabis, and that was the main part. And part of social justice and economic justice is workers' rights, making sure that the people of Millville go to work each day and know that they get a fair paycheck, know that they can take care of their families, and go to the supermarket and buy good food. You know, the other thing that's important too is healthcare and retirement funds. Those are careers. Those are not just jobs, those are careers. And it's a big difference. And when you have somebody here with the talent and the knowledge and the team that we see in front of us with Can Empowerment, we know that these would be long-term careers. Can Empowerment has sat down and has spoken to us about signing a labor peace agreement, took the time to sit down and speak with us directly. And that shows commitment. And we're proud to be here today, along with the AFL-CIO. The building trades are also involved with the build-out and construction of facilities around these areas as well. So this is a true shovel-to-sail union jobs that we're looking at here in Millville. And on top of that, when I sat here, I'm actually very happy to see the presentation by the airport, because as this is just the beginning of this industry. We see all these warehouses here, right the Rite Aid where we represent, all those warehouses right across the street from there. When I see that, I don't just see history, I see people's families that were hurt and destroyed. And we can turn that around. Millville can be part of that. And when they federally legalize import-export, so you can build something here more than just what we're seeing today. And I hope that Millville gets that. And as a labor union, we want to see that. This is a working class community. Working class people every day, back-breaking work in Millville. And we want to make sure that the people that live here can live a good life. So we 100% support Can Empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Eric Dawson. I'm a New Jersey resident, and I build technology in the legal cannabis industry. I also run a cannabis manufacturing services business based in New Jersey. I met Martha and Jimmy at a New Jersey professional cannabis conference called NECAN last year, and they are two of hundreds of people that I have professionally interacted with in the legal cannabis space. And I can confidently say that they are two of the best people that I've met. They represent the type of people and the virtue and the values that I want to work with in this industry and who I want to represent this industry going forward. Martha and Jimmy are hardworking, they're high integrity, they're genuine and deeply committed to building a business that is built to last in a community and operated responsibly with the highest standards that reflect that community. So, as someone who's been working professionally in the legal cannabis space for several years now, I want to see them succeed, I endorse them, and I hope that you approve them to operate their business in your community.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
You guys really brought out the troops.
Hi, my name is Rick LeNave, and I don't have any prepared remarks, but I wanted to let you guys know that I'm a CPA. I'm actually the chairman of the New York State Society of CPAs Cannabis Committee. And I've worked with a lot of different cannabis companies in New Jersey, New York, and across the country. And I can tell you that without a doubt, Jimmy and Mata are amongst the most professional folks that I've dealt with in this space. And I can also tell you that they are very well organized on the financial front. Every question we had when they were going through the application process to put together their projected financials, et cetera, they knew the answer, they researched it, and I can tell you without a doubt, if approved, they will be financially successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
I do appreciate you guys all being here. I think it's important to voice your support and, your team that you're going to be working with. So I do appreciate that. Absolutely.
Good evening. Patricia Kears, 409 Peach Drive. On the agenda, could you just review Ordinance 12.1 about the cap bank?
The cap bank.
Marcia, would you like to explain that, please? The cap
The
bank.
cap
Explain
bank.
the cap bank.
The famous cap bank ordinance that every town has and nobody ever understands.
Sorry, Marcy, I couldn't find my notes from last year.
I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but it's basically so that we can go up to 3.5%. And whatever you don't use, you get to bank for the following year. So it's standard, all municipalities usually pass it. It's not a tax increase, it's just to allow us to go up to 3.5% increase.
Did the same thing last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we do it every year. I think there was only 1 year when it wasn't approved, and Vice Mayor Sui was on the board at that time.
Thank you, Marcy.
Then I have a question on Resolution 15-8. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the copy with me, but this is the contract for the chief of police. There was a piece in there about sick time, and when you retire, it's capped at $15,000, which is standard in most civil service contracts. Then I noticed another section where the chief can sell back 40 hours of sick time every year. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes.
So doesn't that kind of defeat the cap on the sick time?
Well, in a way it does, but it also discourages the chief from taking off sick and not being here. So yes, it's a double-edged sword, but yes.
Wish I'd known that a few years ago.
I think there's something like
And
that
then
offered
I
to all
have
the
some
employees.
questions on the budget. Is this the time you want my questions on that?
Go ahead.
Okay. Only a couple. On sheet 15, on the land use administration, it says the planning board is budgeted at $40,000 for 2023, and it was budgeted for $20,000 in 2022. And I wondered why the increase on that.
You're speaking on the budget, correct, Ms. Gears?
For the planning.
Yeah, the budget, for the plan, for the land use, sheet 14.
Are you on a page on the budget? What resolution?
You're not on a resolution.
No, I'm on, this is on the resolution to introduce the budget. So I didn't know if you wanted me to ask specific questions on the budget now.
The public hearing is going to be at the next
one.
meeting.
At the next one.
If you have the
Marcy.
fig- you have the figures in front of you, Marcy? By any
Do you
chance?
have the,
14.
14, sheet 14.
Oh, here we go.
I can hold my questions till then,
Well, you can
because
wait
that'll
till-
give me more of a chance to.
I think what you'll see is I increased DOE, because originally last year, when we did the $20,000, we were gonna hire a planning, an in-house planner, and we were gonna split the amount into that department and some other departments. Then we decided we couldn't really find a qualified person, so I believe we went in the direction of hiring a contracted person. So I moved that 20,000 into the OE so that I can pay that individual.
Okay, and then the other, what are the other expenses for the zoning board and the planning board?
Those are all, they have an attorney that we have to pay, and we don't get to vote on who it is. It's their own choice that they get to hire. They also have they have printing, all other expenses.
Okay. All right, I'll wait for the public.
Good evening, Tim Cardy, Millville. I have some questions on the budget 15-01. And I'd like to either have answers tonight or somebody get back to me because I'd like to have them on the record. The first one, how many career firefighters are being hired in this year's budget?
We are replacing one that has been terminated. We are hiring one more additional, which will bring 2 shifts up to 5 firefighters. And those funds are being moved from Millville Police Department for the new hire to the Millville Fire Department for
Okay.
this year only.
My question was, when Chief Lippincott gave his presentation, he was requesting 2 firefighters to be put in this budget. How come he's not getting his 2 firefighters? two additional, because you're replacing one that was already fired, so you're hiring another new hire.
The one, if I may, the one that was terminated was being paid for 2 years without working. Okay, he wasn't here for 2 years. So that one's being replaced. If more funding, if more unanticipated income comes in, which I expect it will, then at that time, we will be able to hire an additional one.
Okay, so basically, we're not taking recommendations from the fire chief, and we're putting the health and safety of our firefighters and the public at risk.
Well, Mr. Cardy, if I may, we get recommendations from every department head, and every department head requests more money, more people, more equipment every year. So unfortunately, it's a balancing act. The city doesn't exist as one department over all others. It all exists as one big machine that has to operate together. We have companies coming in. You see the cannabis companies. You see other development coming. Shortly, I hope you see something else in a major way that I'm hoping will occur in a few weeks. So as more money becomes available, more money will be spent. But the bottom line is, how much would you like us to raise taxes? Would you like us to raise taxes 20 cents and fully fund it?
And I believe if
Everyone's
it comes under public safety and the money stays under public safety, I don't think you're gonna have an issue with explaining why you're raising taxes.
Well,
My issue is.
One more comment, if I may. So far, the fire department has been working well with what they have. And I'm not saying it's easy. They do a great job. But they are working well with what they have. They have mutual assistance when they need more people. And that's something we come to rely on. If we get another one, that may decrease. It may not, depending on the number of fires. So yes, I'd love to have more cops. I'd love to have more firemen. I'd love to have more people cutting grass. I'd love to have all that stuff.
But the issue is, Commissioner Silly, we are understaffed in the fire department. If something happens, the city is held liable since you already knew that we're understaffed. Also, which 5 of you commissioners are going to go to that family of that severely injured firefighter and knock on that door and explain to him? I was a firefighter for 15 years. You can't depend on the mutual aid coming in the city. You can't depend on them. They're volunteers. Volunteers have working hours. They have everything else going on. Now, I hate to say, a price tag on public safety, there shouldn't be. My second question, how many new EMTs are we hiring?
How many what?
How many new EMTs?
Right now, there is no new EMTs budgeted.
Okay.
I'll tell you right front,
because Chief Feldes recommend 4 EMTs
Yes,
to
he
cover a rapid intervention truck. So that way, if a person calls out, we'll have 2 EMTs to staff that ambulance, which is bringing in revenue into the city.
Correct.
And also, according to the EMS policy, it states 2 ambulances, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So with 1 ambulance on during that 12-hour shift, you're actually jeopardizing the residents of the city and causing yourself for a lawsuit due to the fact you're not handling your policies and following your policy and procedures.
The last 2 months, we have been over 90% with 2 trucks on the road. And we always have EMTs. We have almost every paid firefighter is EMT certified, EMS or EMS certified. They can jump on what Chief Feldes calls, and we call, the power truck. They can roll for an assist. They can roll if both of our rigs are on a call, and you know as well as I know, that happens a lot in this city.
And I also happen to know a lot that Atlantic County EMS units are coming in handling calls in the city.
I do hate to interrupt, however, that was 5 minutes. I know this is going to get lengthy.
Let me
I'm sure
just
that you
finish
can.
this. Let me finish this.
Okay, and just
Then-
any other questions you had, Mr. Cardy? I know that you had a couple other questions. I'm sure that you can address that director and/or department head. I'm sure Marcy would be happy to answer any questions as well.
Or at the end in final comments.
Okay.
Now, just for clarity, I know that you requested and did get a sit-down with both Chief Lippincott and Chief Feldes.
Yes, it was cut short due to a dwelling fire.
There was a fire, yes, I'm sorry for that, and yes.
And I understand because I was in the field for 15 years.
What I need you to understand is, yes, we are putting on 1 more paid firefighter. Myself and Chief Lippincott sat and discussed that. We discussed that with our captains. I'm taking, like I'm going to take, like right now, the police department is at full song, minus 1 person as of right now, because 1 officer left yesterday for State Trooper Academy. You know that I requested this department because I feel basically the same way as you do and other residents in this town. I'm going to get as much as I can every chance that I can. Everybody knows that. That's the best I can say. And you can finish up. You can ask more questions at the end of the night.
Oh, I definitely will, because I got a couple more. Thank you.
Seeing nobody else, will close the public comment on agenda items only and move into petitions and letters, please.
Okay, I just need motions to receive and file correspondence from Mayor Orndorff appointing the following members to the Millville Planning Board. Erica Mulburn, alternate number 1, with a term expiring March 21st, 2025, and Joseph Pepitone, alternate number 2, filling the unexpired term of Uriah White, with said term expiring October 5th, 2023.
I make a motion.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second to receive and file planning board appointments. Any questions or concerns? Comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
No.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
All right, so we're moving on to reports of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, all. I'm rapidly learning my new role as director. Bill Davis of the Public Affairs Office. Bill Davis is excellent in providing me answers to my many questions I have regarding the department, and I cannot thank Bill enough already in the 2 weeks for his due diligence in helping me learn and gain knowledge. Now, with that being said, the 2023 Community Development Building Grant, CBDG, has begun. The city will receive an increase of roughly 13% above last year's allocation. In 2022, the city's grant funded 5 local nonprofits. Funds were used to demo the old Rescue Squad building as well as refurbishing many local homes. The construction, zoning, and planning boards and office are all very busy. Code enforcement is at it every day and doing their best, but of course we can't see it all. If you see something, say something. Give a call or write an email. The next Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting will happen April 6th here at 6 p.m. The next Planning Board will next meet on April 10th at 6:30, same location. On March 10th, I attended the career fair at Lakeside Middle School, representing myself as a Millville City Commissioner. Shocking. It was a great time explaining to the 6th through 8th graders, over 1,100 students there, what a Millville City Commissioner does and all the entities. Obviously, being newly in the public affairs, I asked Bill right then and there, explain it, that I can explain it to a 6th and 8th grader. It was enjoyable. I loved asking the myriad of questions to all those children that attended. March 18th, I attended the Millville American Legion Post 82 104th birthday and recognition of past commanders. It was a nice event. We got to meet a wonderful lady of the VA, and I unfortunately forgot her business cards to ask her to give me a follow-up email of her presentation, but I'll follow that up with the next meeting. And then yesterday, I attended the Millville Elks Sports Frolic. Congratulations to Mr. Ewing and our own Mr. Rob Shannon on receiving their awards last night. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hewitt?
As stated, we are now at full song -1. We also have 5 candidates in the academy right now. They're into month 4. Month 4 pretty much says they're going to make it through. That's counted in that, just to be clear, of our roles being filled in the Millville Police Department. Millville Fire Department, if you look at the budget, you'll see a line item for $195,000 for Millville Fire Department for fire equipment. That is, the commission is using CARES money that has been moved over to this year's budget to update the Hearst rescue, hydraulic rescue tools that are no longer even serviced by that company. They're obsolete. We will be putting them on gov.deals because southern state fire departments and such can still use those tools. They'll buy them. It'll bring back some of that money, but that is what that line item is for, just in case anybody's looking at it and sees it. All those tools are non-hydraulic. They're battery powered, one man to operate them, nobody operating a pump or anything like that. And again, we are moving forward as fast as we can as a commission to fill one more position as the money allows, and we will be 5 members strong, paid members on every shift, A, B, C. That's all for now.
Thank you. Commissioner Watson?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just update for streets and roads. They're currently working with engineering on cleaning up the storm drains on Wade Boulevard and Orange Street. This is being done to prepare for the replacement and paving from 49 to 47. The clearing of the growth and vegetation at the end of Westwood Terrace has been completed. The curb and apron replacement in front of 43 Cornwall Avenue is completed. Roadside grass cutting has begun. Residents can place loose leaves out to the curb. Streets and roads will make one-time pass through the city beginning April 3rd. Residents can place loose brush at the curb, bless you, the last 2 weeks of April. Streets and roads will make a one-time pass through the city beginning May 1st. Also to clarify for the trailer length restriction, there is none for the compost facility. There used to be a 10-foot rule, and that was lifted a year ago with Commissioner McQuaid and the DEP. Just to go over, there is a restriction. There is no dump trailers allowed, and that is also to stop contractors from going in there and dumping brush. Questions or concerns, especially with the compost facility, can be directed to Streets and Roads, 856-825-7000, extension 7388. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got about a 10-page engineering report here, but I'll limit it to what residents have been acquiring. So Commercial Township has engaged Remington and Vernick as an engineer to complete a conceptual water system design for submission to New Jersey for funding consideration, and this will generate additional support above their letter of commitment to the proposed water system to get water to Laurel Lake. So that's good news. We're working together with them on that. And again, that's a big public health issue because of the situation down there with water and septic. Second, Coventry Way. Specifications are being prepared for a bid to replace 900 linear feet of undersized 6-inch transite pipe. That's asbestos cement. Doesn't hurt you if you drink from it, you're not breathing it. But it's going to be all going to be replaced. That's per New Jersey DEP regulations. And replacing 29 water services. The estimated cost is $215,000, and existing water bonds remaining from old projects will be the source of the funds. The plans and engineer's estimate preliminary have been completed, and the bid package is nearing completion. Four Seasons paving contractors have been reaching out to the city for completion of the paving on Phase 2. The work will include a temporary cul-de-sac at the end of Wharton Street, leading to the future Phase 4. Final paving is weather dependent, and New Jersey Department of Transportation specs require acceptable ambient temperature and minimum base temperature of 41 degrees for the thicknesses being poured there. So we'll have our inspector on top of that and make sure that gets done properly. All right, let's see. Rescue squad demolition, the contractor should be on site at the end of this week, and that should be finished up in another week or two. Otherwise, that extension on the contract will be expired, and we will look for a new contractor. Wade Boulevard and Orange Street Road reconstruction. So that's beginning. You may have seen them out there working on some stuff. They'll be milling and paving, setting water valves, manholes, inlets, etc. That was awarded to Arawak Paving. And let's see. Well, that's probably, I don't need to read all that. That's it for engineering, except for we did get a plan review, a courtesy review. Engineering was sent so the planning board can review it for the Wheaton Field Improvements Phase 1, which is going to be a $5 million project paid for by the Board of Education. That may affect your tax rate, but it won't affect it from the city's point of view. It may affect it from the Board of Education point of view. I just don't want there to be any misconception that This board is paying for that project. So I wanted to make that clear. What else? That's enough. Progress.
Progress. Appreciate it, thank you. Do you want to do the tax collector's report?
Oh, yeah, let me make a motion to receive and file tax collector's report for the month of February 2023.
Second motion.
A motion second to receive and file the tax collector's report for February 2023. Comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, so for Parks and Recreation, St. Patty's Day Coloring Contest winners, I think we had the most submissions for this, which was really awesome. Ages 6 to and under, second place was Keisha Austin. First place was Jimmy McNar. Ages 7 to 8, second place was Natalia Gamer. First place was Maya Fernandez. Ages 9 to 13, first place was Jayla Brown. Ages 14 and up was Lisa Pangborn. And as Sam had mentioned earlier, there is going to be I think there's a spring contest as well for that too. So submit your coloring contest. The Streets and Roads Department helped deliver 200 tons of infield mix and topsoil to Babe Ruth and girls softball. We just want to thank Commissioner Watson for your department giving us a hand, and a huge shout out to the leagues for spreading this material. They really appreciate it, and they are willing to put their time and effort in as well. Upcoming events, I know the kids are really excited that Easter is coming up, and we have lots of Easter eggs can still fill, but we are accepting donations. So our annual Easter egg hunt has been enhanced to our Eggstatic Easter celebration. We will actually have music, snacks, games, face painting, and an egg hunt. And of course, the Easter Bunny will make a special appearance. This event will take place behind Lakeside Middle School. It's changed from last year's location, so behind Lakeside Middle School from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on April 1st. And the egg hunt will take place at 11 a.m. sharp. And make sure that you bring something to put those eggs in. I'm not going to suggest plastic bags. Those are probably really hard to find, but those reusable grocery bags would be great. I think there will be golden eggs out there this year as well, with some extra something special in there that the kids were excited for last year. We do have other events, but I do want to start encouraging everybody to visit our website. Sam and her team have spent so much time putting that website together. If you visit the website under the tab Community and then click on Recreation Events, you'll then see the list of everything that is happening in the city. There'll be more details on the community yard sale as well as the Holly City Walking Club. If anybody has any other questions on events, please feel free to contact us. All right, moving on to ordinances under the second reading.
Okay, item 1 is an ordinance approving and authorizing an application to the Cumberland County Roadway Department for the Millville Lightning to hold a coin drop on June 23rd and 24th and 25th at the intersections of Buckshootum and Cedarville Roads.
Make motion.
Second.
I have a motion and second on ordinance item number 1. There is a public hearing. If anybody has questions or concerns, please come to the podium, state those concerns. Seeing nobody, will close the public hearing. Are there comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 2 is an ordinance approving and authorizing an application to the Cumberland County Roadway Department for the Millville Girls Softball League to hold a coin drop on April 29th and 30th at the intersections of Buckshootum and Cedarville Roads.
Make a motion.
Second the motion.
A motion and second on ordinance item number 2. Again, there's a public hearing for this item. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please come to the podium and state those concerns. Seeing nobody, will close the public hearing. Any comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Ordinances under the first reading, please.
Okay, there's one. It's an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-45.14 for calendar year 2023.
Move the ordinance on first reading.
Second motion.
Excuse me, I have a motion and a second on ordinance item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Excuse me. Sorry.
That's okay.
You tickle. Consent agenda items, please.
Okay, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Board of Commissioners and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the governing body member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 1 is a resolution authorizing the modification of the Department of Parks and Public Properties work schedule to 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. with a half-hour lunch beginning April 3rd, 2023 through November 3rd, 2023. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the City of Millville relating to board and secure, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 6 of the Municipal Code. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the City of Millville relating to cut and clean, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 6 of the Municipal Code. Item 4 is a resolution certifying that the City of Millville's hiring practices comply with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records and employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We also have a resolution authorizing a tax sale certificate as shown on the attached tax foreclosure list now held by the City of Millville to be foreclosed by summary proceedings in rem as by NJSA 54:5-104.29 to 54:5-104.71 as amended and pursuant to the rules of civil practice of the Superior Court of New Jersey. And item 6 is a resolution authorizing adjustments in the tax and utility records. I just need a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve all consent agenda items.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve all items on the consent agenda. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Resolutions, please.
Okay, item 1 is a resolution authorizing the introduction of the calendar year 2023 municipal budget.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second on resolution item number 1. Any comments?
Yes.
Oops. Go ahead, Vice Mayor. I do. We received this yesterday in the packet when the agenda was released to the public. I myself, I have spent a lot of hours since yesterday afternoon, about 3:30, up till when I went home to get ready to come here. I do have questions. I don't know if we can discuss them. I don't know where we can go to, if there's anything we can do to salvage this 5-cent increase. None of us want tax increases. Fortunately, I have the time. I've been all over the city today. I was asking questions of all my departments, where my money is, where our money is, what's going on with it. I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to sit down and actually look at the budget. It's giant. I know, Vice Mayor, you have, for sure. You have the time like I do, and it's your department. I just wanted to let people know that I'm doing what I can do. And hopefully, it was short notice. I know we were up against the gun here. Others have also looked at it. That's all.
If I could just say, that's why the statute requires that the budget be introduced and that there be an approval at the second hearing. Even though it's a resolution, it requires two readings.
And a public hearing.
So there is time.
Would it be correct, would it be right to request that at the next meeting that we do move this, to dedicate a work session to taxes to the budget.
But we certainly are going to have a work session in advance of the next meeting, and that would be an opportunity to have a
Because
discussion.
there's probably going to be a lot of questions.
Well, I advise you to see our CFO before
Yeah.
the work session so that you can get many of your questions answered. And
Which I have. I've been down to see Marcy. I've been there a lot.
okay, so we're looking at a 5-cent tax increase, and in a minute, I'm going to again ask Marcy to get up and explain what the driving forces were, what the debt was, and explain about the contracts. But one commissioner did come to me and said he wouldn't care if we raised taxes more. So when I get, every commissioner prepared, gets their budget prepared by their department heads and turns it into the CFO. Then they meet with the CFO. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. And then I also meet with the CFO. I look for savings. I look for increases the ways of revenue that I'm sure you all do when you go over it with your department heads. And we come to this resolution. So again, we're stuck with, and Marcy will explain why, we're kind of stuck with this. And the reasons we're stuck with what we're doing is the reasons that we can't add another fireman this year, the reasons that we can't add more police, the reasons that we can't add more money for parks or wherever. And the other thing that kind of limits us too is many of our sources of revenue, such as UEZ funds, CDGB grants, they all come with constraints. So we can't spend them where we want to spend them. We're limited by what basically the state says where we can spend a lot of this money. So it'd be nice if it was all one big pile and we could put it where we want, but we can't. So Marcy, if you would please explain the driving forces, the reason the debt went up and it will go down, and the effect of the contracts negotiated by the last commission on this budget.
Good evening. The budget went up about $3,592,000 for the year. That's without grants, because grants you receive throughout the year, so it's not fair to compare last year to this year. 129,000 is for utilities, mainly the gas went up quite a bit, and also I believe the electric and the gas, they all went up. There's not much I can do about that. The insurance, the state of New Jersey raised their rates 24%. So the employees are now contributing about $900,000 to the total cost of the insurance. So the net effect is an increase of $889,000. Then the vice mayor was discussing the debt. Last year, towards the end of the year, the vice mayor wanted me to contact our financial advisor about selling our outstanding notes for bonds, converting them to bonds. So we did that because he was afraid that the interest rate was going to go up. So I'm glad we did, because it did go up. But what that did is we have an issue from 2011 that this is the last year we're going to be making a payment on, which is $1 million. So nothing came off when we brought in a new payment. So the net effect is an increase of $976,000. But next year, you're going to see that reduced. And then finally, pension. Whenever we hire new employees, it's not just the salary part, or if we give them an increase. The pension also goes up based on how much money, the contribution that the city makes, based on how much money those individuals make. So it's all comes together, and the net increase for this year was $530,000. So altogether, then I have about $1 million that was increases in salary and wages. I believe $500,000 of that increase was for public safety. There was also an increase in the construction department. And the reason for that is because the fees that you charge have to equal your expenditure. So we try to make the department more efficient and bring it in line with what we were charging. So, and then you also had some miscellaneous items that went up, all the items we went over 2 or 3 times, the vice mayor and I. These items, none of them can be changed. They were contractual or increases due to factors outside of our jurisdiction. For example, the insurance, that was a huge increase. And all the contracts this year, we're almost at the last year of the contracts. They were all 3%, but the previous year was only an increase of 2%. Also, in the police contract, I believe it was, we got rid of steps. So if it falls in the year that we got rid of those steps, you're going to see a big increase. We also settled the EMT contract because we couldn't attract employees because we were so much lower than everyone else. So we had to bring them in line to what the surrounding communities were paying. So that affected both the pension and the salary and wages. And I also wanted to make a comment about the EMS. We did not increase how many individual employees. I think it's their number 17. I might be wrong, but it's around that number. But their per diem, we increased by a lot. I believe they have about 10 per diems on the list that they can call at any time if someone calls out. So that's the budget. I can go into more details on, when we have the public hearing. I'm going to have the auditors here. You can also ask them questions. I also had to be careful not to use too much surplus. I wanted to leave at least $1 million. I wanted $2 million, but I brought it to $1.3 million. We also had about $2 million in an account that I had reserved for tax appeals. I even used the money out of that so that we wouldn't have to raise taxes any higher. We used $3 million out of the CARES Act funding, which come next year, you're already going to be short all this money that I used out of one-time areas. So I just want to make sure everybody, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here next year. I'm getting ready for my retirement, but I want you to know. I want you to know that this was the best budget that we could come up with, and it was really difficult for me because I wanted to leave on a good note without having such a big tax increase, but I really didn't see any way around it.
Thank you. And if any member of the public has questions about the budget, please email us and we'll make sure that information is available. You can certainly come here and ask, but you might not get the answer if we don't have the information right at our fingertips, even as knowledgeable as our CFO is. So if you want to do that, fine. If you don't want to do it and you want to come in and surprise us with a question, it's your choice. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll answer questions from my department. Shoot, I'll answer a couple right now. I got a whole list, but I'm going to wait till our next meeting. But I'll give you just a couple. The EMS, it's big. We needed it. Everybody knows we needed it. A lot of us fought for it. But EMS brought in 1.2 million. They're covering off because EMS does make money. That's nothing against anybody at all. We have a new line item nobody even knows about, I don't believe. It's going to help us this year towards next year's budget. It's called gun licenses. Every person that applies for one of them in the state of New Jersey is paying $150. They have to be renewed every 2 years. I confirmed today that people pay $200, excuse me. $150 of that money stays with the city of Millville. That is new income that nobody knows we have. And it's a lot. There's a lot of permits out there, just in this city alone.
Nothing like charging for a constitutional right.
Exactly, I agree with you. But for instance, we have to renew every 2 years. That's going to be a recurring fee. There is going to be more money. There's more money on the horizon, that's what I'm saying.
All right, well, I guess we can continue discussing this at the next, we can
Yeah,
obviously bring it
yeah.
up to the work session. We all have opportunities to sit down with our department heads and discuss, the budget, and I'm sure we all have looked over that and have questions, and I think, Marcy, you explained it as best as I think anybody really can in your position, so I do appreciate it. And I know, Vice Mayor, you worked hard with Marcy to see and to minimize that increase. And I said earlier, it's, it hurts everybody here, us sitting here and everybody in the city. So we're all gonna feel it, and hopefully next year, we don't have to increase taxes. All right, so we had our comments. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution approving support for suitability of cannabis business for Can Empowerment LLC to lease property known as Block 484, Lot 1, 1501 Oakland Avenue as a Class 1 cultivator and/or as a Class 2 manufacturer licensed facility.
I make a motion to approve resolution item number 2.
Second motion.
A motion and a second on resolution item number 2. Any comments?
Yeah, please. First off, for Can Empowerment, you have a lot of support here, and this was probably one of the best presentations that I've seen as far as business goes. Haven't been here a long time. I'm still learning, and unfortunately, I can't support this, and especially hearing it from Marcella Shepard, CFO, we kind of need this. We need this in our city, and I understand that. I get it. It's just something I can't get behind. And it's nothing personal, and I would really love, to see things like this happen to benefit our city. And it's very hard to say no sometimes, especially when you're going home and you have loved ones that, that need it medicinal. They use it recreational. You're standing up here amongst 4 other council, and you get the mayor, and they're all voting yes, and you're the only one that says no. It's not easy. It's definitely not. But how I was brought up, it's just kind of the way I am, and I stand by my decisions, and I already know it's going to go through, and it's okay for me to say no because that's my opinion. I'm here just like everybody else, just trying to do my best, and I might not be good at what I do here, and I still got a lot of learning. What I do think I'm good at is I think I'm good at taking care of my home, and that's how I do it. I see Millville as my home. I just make decisions based off of that, just trying to treat my home the best way I can. Nothing personal to anybody. Sorry to the residents that oppose my thoughts and opinions. We just do our best, and like I said, I don't really say too much other than no, because I know it's already going to get approved. But thank you very much, and continue on.
Appreciate your comments.
I too would just like to say that I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I appreciate I believe the union leader that called us correctly commissioners, even though it said that right out front. We commonly get mistaken as councilmen. But thank you all for being here. It is truly a blessing for both of you to see that each and every one of you came out here to support the Can Empowerment LLC.
So I'm glad you guys came, and Commissioner Watson, I appreciate your honesty and your forthrightness, and it's something we disagree on, and we disagree civilly on it because we're honest with each other about it.
Absolutely.
So I do appreciate that.
That's the way we're supposed to be. We're supposed to work together, and we're supposed to do what's best for Millville. Everybody in this room is doing what's best for Millville. Period, end of story. And just other times, we just have different opinions about that, and it's okay. But thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming and presenting your case. My wife works at the ShopRite. She's part of the union.
Again, I just appreciate for the troops coming out and showing support. It really helps us make the decision. Commissioner Watson, I appreciate your comments. It is sometimes not easy to vote no when the rest of the commission's going to vote yes, but it really shows that he's being true to him through and through, and being true to his people who voted for him and the community. Yes, we do need the income, and hopefully that your company will be able to do that. Being longtime friends, that relationship will only grow stronger, within your business. This was something that I even struggle with, and Mr. Campari knows as well. We've had multiple conversations that, we do need to limit it. I don't want to be known for cannabis in Millville. I don't want to make the wrong decision for the future of Millville. And that's sometimes really hard. And our supporters put their trust in us, and it's just hard. So I appreciate everybody coming out. And I think this will be the last letter of support from the city of Millville for cannabis. So we'll move to roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Respectfully, no.
And Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, item 3 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the City of Millville and Pyrotechnico to conduct a public fireworks display at Union Lake Park between the approximate hours of 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. on July 4th, 2023, in the amount of $17,000.
I make the motion.
Second.
Item number 3.
I have the certification of funds down here.
Okay, I was like,
$17,000 signed by the CFO, Marcella Shepherd. And I
Have it-
second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? I know that I had talked to Sam about this, and I know there was an increase in this. However, we do have the budget for it, and I know that the company that we go through, they do an amazing job every year. Last year, I actually got to see how the fireworks are set up. I never knew how a firework went off, so being able to demonstrate that was really, really awesome. And I know that their show this year will be just another amazing show, and I think that there's people out in the lake last year that were able to enjoy it from both the field and the lake. So I hope everybody enjoys the 4th of July fireworks. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing a public fireworks display by Pyrotechnico at a cost of $6,500 to be conducted at Lakeside Middle School between the approximate hours of 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. on August 1st, 2023 for National Night Out. The police department has secured funds to cover the total.
Make motion, and with that, I have certification of availability of funds in the amount of $6,500, certified by our Chief Financial Officer, Marcella D. Shepherd.
Second motion. Sorry. You can have it. No.
I don't know who that was.
I got Commissioner Watson. Is that
Okay,
okay?
you have better ears than I do. We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 4. Any comments?
Yes, this is National Night Out. This is our night out. Everybody was here earlier. These funds are coming from our canine drug dog and our special units. They're not coming out of our budget line item, just to make that clear. I have a commitment right now because we lost the forest fire people. We're talking about forest fire tonight. Last year, they abandoned us. They landed in the field and they took off and went to Vineland.
They did.
They have committed their trucks and the dropping of water displays and everything to us this year in Millville. I'm going to hold them to it. I know them.
Are you going to jump on the helicopter and say, no, you're not going?
No, you are.
No.
You get a free ride.
I'm all right with that. All right. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 5 is a resolution awarding contracts to the following vendors for the rebid work uniforms for a 12-month period beginning April 1st, 2023. Action Uniforms Company, LLC, Pleasantville, New Jersey, Sections 1, 3, and 5, and United Uniforms, LLC, Rio Grande, New Jersey, Sections 2, 4, and 6.
Make motion?
Second the motion.
Couldn't beat him to it.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 5. Any comments?
General housekeeping. These are the new bids for public safety, for uniforms and such.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 6, we just need a motion to remove resolution from the table authorizing the tax collector to cancel certificate of sale number 23-00206 struck off to the City of Millville for delinquent taxes and special assessment charges in the amount of $37,018.27 on Block 330, Lot 1, known as 721 North 3rd Street, assessed to Mile High 2 LLC at a tax sale held on January 18, 2023.
Move the resolution.
I'm not gonna have a second on this.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second on resolution item number 6.
It's just a
For-
motion to remove it from the
to re-
table.
Okay.
To remove it?
Yep.
To remove it from the table,
Okay.
right.
Not to approve.
Not to
this-
approve
Not to
it.
approve
The
this,
next
but
one
to
is to
remove it.
approve it, to
So you
remove it,
can
yeah,
act on it.
exactly,
You can approve it or disapprove it. First, you have to remove it from the table.
Yep.
right.
Okay, so there's
That's the next one.
All right, so we have the motion, you have the roll call this one though first, right?
Right.
Okay, so roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been removed from the table. Now I need a motion to adopt resolution authorizing the tax collector to cancel certificate of sale number 23-00206, struck off from the city of Millville for delinquent taxes and special assessment charges in the amount of $37,018.27 on Block 330, Lot 1, known as 721 North 3rd Street, assessed to Mile High 2 LLC at a tax sale held on January 18, 2023.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
A motion
Sorry,
and a
second.
second to authorize the cancel certificate. Any comments?
Yes. In the work session, I asked for this to be removed from the table and put back on the agenda and vote on this resolution to send a clear message to the individual that applied for this. This city was under the impression that there was no insurance for this property that burnt down, and there was a demolition that cost $37,000. In fact, there was insurance. So there's no way that we should be waiving any fees for any demolition when there's insurance for it. So I don't know if you want to elaborate further, Mr. Russell, or not, or that covers it enough, or whatever.
No, the only issue that continues is that apparently was an investigation by the fire marshal to determine whether or not the fire was suspicious or not. And I think that they did conclude that it was suspicious. I don't know whether that will affect the insurance or not. We'll find out.
There was an investigation. This was the third fire and the biggest fire at that address. Our fire marshal did his job. He deemed it so. I checked also. I talked downstairs. We're not sure whether there's insurance been paid off. And until we're sure whether insurance has been paid off, we still have a bill on this. Am I correct?
There
For
is
demolition.
insurance, whether they paid or not, I don't know.
Wait,
Eventually, they're
right.
going to have to pay unless they can prove arson.
Somebody has got to figure that out. And right now, I believe, yes, that this is the best thing to do. We need to hold our ground.
Okay, Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
So
No.
Okay. So
Do not
yeah, this is
remove
a motion, right, to authorize it.
Yes.
So you're voting no to?
No.
That would
Right.
be, I don't want to authorize it.
Right.
Do not, right, correct. Okay, so that's a no. Vice Mayor Sui?
No.
Commissioner Romanek?
No.
Commissioner Watson?
No.
Mayor Orndorff?
No.
Okay, this fails. Thank you. All right, item 7 is a resolution amending resolution number 224-2022 so as to restrict the number of cannabis licenses permitted in the city rather than the number of locations.
Move the resolution on item number 7.
Second motion.
Have a motion and second on resolution item number 7. Any comments? Just want to thank Mr. Campari for explaining that. I don't know, Mr. Russell, do you want to kind of just touch on that really quick?
Yes, what this would do is it would restrict the number of licenses to 21. We've already issued 20 letters of support, so this would allow one more license, and that was the one that we agreed to issue a letter of support for tonight. So that would put a cap on any further licenses.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
No.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
No.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, item 8 is a resolution approving employment agreement between the City of Millville and Ross E. Hoffman as Chief of Police for the term of February 2nd, 2023 through December 31st, 2024.
Make motion.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution number 8. Any comments?
Yes. Chief Hoffman, very dedicated to the city. He's just a good, genuine person. I'm very happy to have him. And the city of Millville is very lucky to have him. That's all I have. Thank you.
Didn't take long to get his contract done. He's satisfied with his contract. City's satisfied with his contract. As you can see, we now pack the chambers when there are promotions and such going on within the PD. And got to welcome Chief Ross Hoffman to his new position.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
I have to abstain.
Okay, motion carries. Item 9 is a resolution awarding a professional services contract to Jeanette A. Pace as a paralegal assisting the city with litigation support regarding certain pending lawsuits in which it is involved in an amount not to exceed $5,000, with the term of that agreement commencing on January 1st, 2023, and terminating on December 31st, 2023.
Move the resolution on certification of funds in the amount of $5,000 signed by our CFO, Ms. Alshepard.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution number 9. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
New business, please.
Okay, I just need a motion to authorize the city clerk to advertise to receive the following bids by the purchasing board. 2023 street patching and utility opening repairs to be received by the purchasing board on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 10 a.m. and Columbia Avenue and Riverside Drive roadway improvements Thursday, April 27th, 2023 at 10 a.m.
Make a motion.
Second motion.
Motion and second on new business item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. And I also need a motion to authorize the following special event on public lands applications subject to approval by the required city officials, and that's the Laurel Lake Triathlon, sponsored by Shaw Perazzelli at 20 Southwest Lakeshore Drive on July 29th, 2023 at 8 a.m.
Make a motion to approve?
Second motion.
I have motion and second on new business item number 2. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The last item, we just need a motion to authorize the following social affair permit, which is a community service event at the Elks Lodge on May 13th, 2023, from 4 to 11 p.m.
Make motion.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second on new business item number 3. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment. We've now reached the public comment portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns. Please limit those comments to 5 minutes.
Hi,
Thank you,
Cindy
Marcy.
Cook of Alene, Millville. I attended last night another meeting on the Economic Millville Development Committee. Sadly, there were only, I think, 2 or 3 other individuals in attendance. I noticed a reoccurring theme, and that was that we should get high-profile activities on a reoccurring basis here in Millville. I also addressed the issue that we have at the Levoy Theater right now some of the most successful programming we've ever had. Friday, in 2 shows, we had over 1,200 children bussed in. Eaglemania was a sellout show of almost 700 people. They came from Virginia. The car in front of me was from New Hampshire. They came up and down the eastern seaboard, in other words, to see this show. The reoccurring comments from everybody is, where can we get something to eat? This seems to be a big issue. I've been volunteering at the Levoy for the entire 10 years it's been open. Constantly, people say, because there's no place for them to really grab even a cup of coffee. I was wondering, I don't know who to direct this to, and I'm hoping maybe somebody out there will hear this. Maybe on a 3rd Friday, when we have what we know will be a sellout show like what we've got going, maybe we can get food trucks or something in and see how that idea would fly. Because it seems, the people come in and all they can do is get, either something, something from the bar or candy. And it's a reoccurring theme. Many times they go down to one of the restaurants and they can't get in and out in time. And they're bringing their to-go meal, it ends up to us, and we're putting in the refrigerator at the concession stand for them. And so I just thought I'd put that out there, that maybe at some point, maybe we can merge these two entities. We've got a couple really, really great shows coming up. We've got E Street Shuffle coming up. That's the Bruce Springsteen. We've got Conway Twitty's grandson and Loretta Lynn's granddaughter going to perform. And I've already been to their websites and seen where people are traveling to come to these shows. So if we want to, and plus a lot of people from all over New Jersey, and if we could get like a third Friday event coordinated better, maybe some of these people coming to the Levoy on these days will be more attracted to come into Millville.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
Mary Messick here of Millville. First of all, I'd like to congratulate this commission for finally listening to the people that voted you in, because I know, just like Commissioner Hewitt has said, he's been on this end. I've always been on this end. And we've stated many a times, we have things in this city that people just don't realize we have. I'm grateful that this commission has managed to get someone here working within the city that is going to utilize and more or less market us better, so we're known for more than the bad things that have happened in the past. I know Millville's good. I've been in a town, and I grew up in the town. Trust me, you really don't want to be. And I can see this town can be something great again. It was great way back in the day, and it can be that again. But even better yet, out of the ashes come something new. That's what a phoenix is. And that's how Millville basically is. And so are the people. Grant, not everything that is approved everybody's going to agree with. But I'm grateful that this commission has taken the time to listen to the people and try to work so that we are known for more things than the few things that have been posted out there that have turned out to be the better part. And I agree with you, Commissioner Watson. We have to be true to ourselves. We have to vote no matter which end we're on, whether it's for a presidential election or a city election. We've got to vote for what we really feel deep down inside in our hearts, because we have to live here. I grant, I'm like a half dozen other people. I no more want to see my taxes go up than a man in the moon. But I understand 75% of our city's budget goes for public safety. This I understand. And I understand unless we have businesses coming in, we're not going to have tax money coming in. We're not going to have ratables. So our taxes are going to eventually go up. But we also have to watch how we spend that money too. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Good evening, Tim Cardy, Millville. Excuse me. Well, the way it sounds about this year's budget and possibly next year's budget, if we can't find any revenue coming in, I think you guys should be looking at pot shops to collect the 2% off the sales and deliveries of it in the city. Without that 2%, it looks like we're going to be pretty hurting. And I don't know how long it takes a facility that does manufacturing of marijuana to actually be built and everything. So that's probably 2 to 3 years' time. And with a pot shop, they could probably start immediately and bringing in the 2% revenue. I know a lot of municipalities are selling it, including the city of Vineland. I'm not seeing big tax increases. The city of Belmar They went out and bought $1 million fire truck with the money they brought in with the marijuana sales. Maybe the 5 of you should be looking at the sales and how the law is set up where you gotta be 21 to purchase it. Anybody can purchase alcohol. My 20-year-old son could walk up to somebody on the street and hand them an extra 20 to get him a 12-pack of beer, which I know he won't. That's something you really need to think about, because waiting 2-3 years to collect this other 2% off the wholesale that's only going to be available in New Jersey, the wholesale market's going to be flooded. And what's going to happen to small businesses like this? They're going to close up, and you're going to have a bunch of pot warehouses sitting empty where they can't be used. And I'm not against it. I've never done it, but we got to look at long terms. 2% over the years. Take that money, you put it back in public safety, you put it back in your departments, you clean the city up. You got to put your personal feelings aside and worry about the tax increases. Now, Commissioner Sewell, you made a statement earlier about you would like to hire more firefighters and hire more people cutting grass. I really hope you're not comparing cutting grass to firefighting.
I didn't say that. I didn't say I was comparing anything, did I? Are you putting
No.
words in my mouth?
But the way you put it was you'd like to hire more people to cut grass.
Mr. Cardy, I'm not going to respond to any more of your comments.
Okay.
It kind of reminded me of that story with the donkey and the tiger, and I don't really want to elaborate on that. I'm sure plenty of people have seen it on Facebook.
Okay, I would like to say, as elected officials, the most important responsibility of any government is the health and safety of their community. Everything else is secondary. By understaffing public safety, you're putting everybody's lives at risk. Thank you.
Patricia Kears, 409 Peach Drive. I just want to support what Mr. Cardy said about the cannabis sales. It's not like reefer madness. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Where my daughter lives, it's legal in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And if you go to the facility, their grow facility, they also have a point of sale. You don't even know it's there. It's on the, it's in the industrial parks. You have to drive to get there, so there's no one hanging around getting high and laying on the curbs. It's people order it, they get in, they get out. You can order it online, schedule your pickup time. You know, you have to show ID, the whole 9 yards. And it's really something to think about, because I don't think it's 2%. I think if you do both, it might be closer to 5%. And there are a lot of things that, good things, that could be done with this tax money. Thank you.
Hi, Greg Kears, Millville. Two things. My first question was, when's the handicap ramp going to get fixed? It's been like 5 or 6 months now. Just curious.
We're actually working on attempting to use CDGV money to get that done.
Okay. My next question is actually also related. I live in White Marsh Estates. The only way, I walk my dog, the only way I can get around is using either the sidewalks or the roads. Fortunately, every sidewalk there does not have handicap accessible curb cuts. I mean, not even laughably so. And normally that's not a thing for me. I don't complain about it. In fact, if you see me cross Rick Avenue, you'll see me push over the dirt, a lot of times by Ash Drive. Now, the other thing is, when I didn't expect, was 2 weeks ago when my wheelchair went off one of those and I fell. Now, I was taught how to fall at the rehab hospital. You're actually taught how to fall. And they didn't tell me that your wheelchair falls on top of you. I thought it actually fell away. Learned something new. What I was most concerned about, though, was my dog, who that wheelchair could have ended up on him and really hurt him. Could have broken my wheelchair, and to be honest, I could have probably gotten hurt. And it really made me think, and this past fall when the leaves were down and I couldn't use those sidewalks, I was having to use my wheelchair going down the streets with The street's filled with leaves. So literally having to use the center of the street. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Redwood Drive in my neighborhood. I think it's posted at like 25. Nobody goes 25. Nobody. I think I nearly had my butt end of my wheelchair taken off twice, and I put lights on myself. Red ones on the back and a headlight on my forehead on the front. And I have even more obnoxious ones now because of that incident. And I know this is probably just falling on deaf ears, but I mean, from now on, I mean, you guys can fix it. You don't have to. I don't really care what you do. I'm not telling you what to do. But I'm just going to wear my GoPro, and if something happens, I mean, it's on the city. I've made you aware of the issue. Thanks.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment for this evening and go to closing comments of commissioners. Mr. Romanek?
Mary, thank you to all being here. Have a good night and a safe drive home. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let's see if I can stay on point with this. It's a little bit more than, going to personal, I guess, opinion, because I believe I said in my previous comments, I know that funding or this money that's rateable to the city is definitely needed. I mean, we know that from the presentation that our CFO made today. I know that. It's pretty easy. And if I have to go through what I experienced in my life and my thoughts on it to relay my message, I guess I can do that. And for City of Millville, I believe it needs a big broom. It needs to be cleaned up. And if it was up to me, I would have a 0% sign right next to every Welcome to Millville sign representing 0% tolerance for any kind of drug use. And we'll go from one of the experiences. I just had this Friday. I paid $110 to go to the Flyers game for 5 tickets. So my daughter's first game, I was pretty excited. They ended up winning 5-1. They had a hat trick. We actually ran in the gritty. We had an awesome time. Pictures, the girls were dancing. I had my 13-year-old. I had my 2-year-old, and also had my little sister. She's three. Should have been a perfect night, and unfortunately, there was somebody right in front of me using one of the I don't know what they are. I don't use the product, but there was a vaping device, I guess, using this product. The whole suite smelled like that, and unfortunately, I think it was very inappropriate, and just for little kids to be introduced to that, I don't agree with that. And what does that have to do with the city of Millville? Well, just remember that when you go to the fireworks display when we're spending $70,000, when families are there trying to enjoy that, and that's the smell that they have, and everybody relates it to alcohol. It's not. There is a similar relation, but, and I say this when I speak to my buddies, if your neighbor is responsibly drinking, he's out there, he's cutting his grass, and he's weed whack or whatever, he cracks open a beer, you're not going to know what he's drinking, you're not going to know what he has, but I guarantee you that when you step outside, you know what your neighbor's doing when he lights one up. And remember that when we have houses that are very close to each other, when you go to open up your windows and you go to air out your house, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have that smell. If we have noise, issues in our city, it's an inconvenience to the public. It's an inconvenience to those that are not trying to enjoy it. We have curfew at 10:30, 11 o'clock. We have a noise ordinance. What about an odor ordinance? And it's hard to go ahead and make actions to fight that or to enforce that. But to me, when you have people that don't use this product, it's a strain on what you're trying to do, especially when you're with young kids. I don't want my kids introduced to that, and I think as a city, we should represent it, and we need to draw a line because this shouldn't become regular. In my opinion, nationwide, statewide, county line, this should not become regular. There should be a line drawn, and for me personally, if we have the opportunity to do it on this commission, we should draw that line around the city of Millville. If you want to clean it up, there's a 0 tolerance for drugs. And if we're going to approve this to come here with the cultivators that we have, it's going to be very hard to do that. That's my opinion. So it's a little bit more than just being personal. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.
Thank you.
There's only one thing that's going to clean this city up, and that's successful economic development. Ms. Stanger, you talked about High Street restaurants. It's great that they're there when the leeway is open. It would be great if there were more restaurants, but it takes more than that to support our local businesses. It takes jobs. So Mr. Campari has been very aggressive in pursuing a variety of different companies, not just cannabis, so that we diversify. In case something goes cattywampus with one business, we have other businesses to rely on. We saw what happened when glass plants closed, which was our sole source of employment. We look at two things, jobs per acre and ratables. So that's what we're concentrating on. And it's another reason that I hate a tax increase, because you think it's bad with your house, it's worth, well, you know, 150, 250, 500,000. Imagine if you have a $20 million building or a $60 million building, and that increase is going to hit you, and how much that's going to cost the businesses. Businesses don't like that. They don't like that extra expense. But it's coming for them as well, which I don't like. So the idea is to get more ratables, more high-value ratables, so that we can offset the cost that we need for all the other stuff. And with that, progress.
Commissioner Healy?
I'm going to try and hit a little bit on each person. Cindy, thank you. Economic development, there is no denying. It is a big, big target of this commission. Sorry. And our business administrator, he works tirelessly on economic development. Third Friday, I got to touch on that. Sadly, I don't know what to do with it. Myself, the mayor, we spent time up on High Street hoping that maybe we could revive Third Friday. We couldn't figure out a way to do it. It's just not there anymore. We don't have the little restaurants. We don't have things for people to be there. We brought the public safety team out on the High Street, put her right by the Lavoie, the busiest spot on High Street on Friday. Not one person came up there and asked a question over a 2-hour period. We tried. I don't know what else to do. Food trucks, that'd be great. I would love to see food trucks like we used to see them back in the day when the Millville Car Show was enormous. It was from Broad Street to Main Street. We've even unfortunately lost that. But food trucks are great. Somebody's got to organize it. You got permits, you got licensing. You can't just pull them in. But it's a good idea, and I thank you for those. Mary, thank you. We don't absorb 75% of the budget. We're the biggest absorbers in public safety, but not 75% of it. But I'll absorb as much as I can, whenever I can, to just keep growing public safety. That's what I said when I ran. That's what I'm going to say until I'm here or until I'm recalled. That's the way I look at it. Thanks for your comments. Marijuana for Mrs. Keers and Tim. Myself, the growing, the industry, I voted for every one of them. You know, it may not take me much for somebody to stand there pretty soon, because we do need to stop raising taxes. We need to get over this COVID hump, or whatever you call it, that the state shut down insurance premiums and stuff, and we're absorbing that now. It may not take me much to agree with you pretty soon, because I'm really on the fence, but I'm wobbling. We got to find something. Greg, thank you, as always. First thing I need to tell you, I talked to your mom about it a couple months ago, and you brought it up again tonight. Redwood Drive is first on the list as soon as the Leaf Drive is done. I checked on it for the speed sign. It's first on the list when we put it back out. So we take it in during the winter because of snow, possible ice, and stuff like that. We'll clear this leaf situation. It'll be there. I don't know what I can offer as far as the curbing and stuff goes. That's just about it. I want to thank the folks who came and did the presentations tonight. As always, I want to thank our business administrator and everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor? Did you go already?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago at this point. No. Just a few ending comments here. I do want to hopefully end on a positive note. I think we've had a wealth of knowledge and comments this evening. I received a letter from Make-A-Wish New Jersey on behalf of the Snowflake Plunge and everything that we've done for Make-A-Wish. If everybody remembers from last year, we were able to grant 2 wishes in 2022. We have actually been able to grant additional 2 more wishes. So it's a total of 4 wishes that we've been able to grant to Make-A-Wish New Jersey. Nicholas began his wish to a limousine ride to his favorite store, Best Buy, where they opened the doors early for Nicholas and his family. So they had the entire store to themselves. Nicholas tends to be very shy, so being able to have a private shopping experience with his family was very valuable to him. His mom lets us know that he and his entire family had a blast, and after the shopping spree concluded, they all went to Outback Steakhouse together to celebrate. Alice's trip to Disney World was certainly one to be remembered. Her family checked into their own villa at Gives Kids the World Village. I'm not going to read this. This was a really long one. She had a number of different experiences when she went. A special Wish Kid pass was granted to access to jump in front of the line to enjoy the best seats of the house for all Disney shows. Then, when the sun went down, the lights came up every night, and the fun continued with fireworks and beautiful lights. I do have a picture. We're actually going to post this on our website of Nicholas and Alice, the 2 children that we were able to grant wishes for. And again, you guys all know how I feel about Make-A-Wish. I'm a Wish family, and these kids, their lives are touched forever. And they are not just Wish kids once. They're never forgotten. And I think it's an amazing foundation that does amazing things for kids and their families to have those moments. So I want to thank everybody who donated from $1 to whatever your budget allowed, to allow the city of Millville, the community that just means so much. They come out and give in abundance over and over again. That is what I remember and what I hope will continue with our town. So thank you for your generous donations to Make-A-Wish. I second want to just congratulate again to our public safety police promotions and our new officers I know that are going to be coming. I just want to thank them and commend them for their hard work that they do every day. Unfortunately, I can't vote for their things and their promotions just because my brother's a police officer, but it's not easy what they do in any aspect of public safety, so thank you. And I know last week, or last meeting, I did announce that we were going to mention who our special guest was for our 4th of July celebration. Last year, we had asked people from Millville who have musical talent to come and perform if they so choose. I think it's a really great opportunity for our youth who sometimes may be shy or may not be able to go into a facility and perform, or, because most places you go to are bars and our underage kids can't perform, or they're just a little shy. And we gave them the opportunity to do that. This year we're gonna have the high school Magicals perform our national anthem, because they are just amazing and they give me the chills every time they sing it. So I reached out to them, and I'm just gonna share this with you really quick. For our upcoming, I'm going to see if I do this correct, 4th of July celebration. All right, so here we go. Hopefully everybody can hear it. It's not real long. Joanna, I might need your help. Does it have to be this one? No. Let's see if I do this. I hit share, but it's not sharing the screen. Okay, I did this one here. Sorry, guys. I hit the little button. And then I hit cast. And I hit that one.
Okay, so go to sources.
Okay, sorry.
Cast screen.
All right, there we
And
go.
then click on that. Click on it again. There you go.
Let's make sure this pops up though this time. There we go. All right, so real quick, short ending, just to make sure our volume's up on this. Millville's very own Zach Westcott agreed to come back and be our headliner for our 4th of July celebration. He's super excited to come back to Millville. I didn't know if he was going to be available because I know he's pretty booked out, busy in Nashville, but I hope everybody comes out and enjoys our 4th of July celebration. Again, everybody, thank you for coming this evening, your concerns and questions and the support. I hope everybody has a lovely evening and just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion. Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.